once in a while you'll read an approximation in a fictional book of the love of a parent for their children, and it's a wonderful thing to read, but better than that is to read evidence of the love of a parent, and this is such evidence. This is the Letters from Father Christmas from J.R.R. Tolkien, which he wrote every single year to his children, starting in 1920, I believe, to his first son, John, and finishing in 1934. I think it's 1934. We'll just make sure of that in a few moments. This is the deluxe edition. It comes with this little slip of paper, which is included under the foil wrapping. There we are. And this is the slipcase with a little example of one of the stamps that Tolkien would add to the envelopes that he would send these messages in. All along the top you have these icicles with a silver paint. That's the back. That's the side. None of the other J.R.R. Tolkien books in this deluxe edition have anything on the back of the slipcase, but this one, has that little design, and in fact it's slightly different from the others in the sense that the monogram is in silver and not in gold. There's a little picture on the back of the book itself, which is quarter bound, of the polar bear, which gets up to all kinds of mischief. Most of the other books in the deluxe edition are speckled on the cover. This is plain white. You can see that the cover is slightly textured, and the quarter bound part is slightly more textured than the rest, and this snow is painted in silver. It's very, very lovely. The end papers are green, and the very first page is in fact a collection of those stamps. I thought that was really nice. His North Polar stamps were quite good and were apparently accepted by the post office, though how this was arranged was not revealed. I wonder if maybe he sent them to his wife in a larger stamped envelope when he was away, of course. Because, of course, some of the later messages were from in wartime when he was fighting as a soldier. It's a very nice short introduction, and here's the very first letter. The reason why it's so shaky, I think he describes it. There you go, it's very cold today. My hand is very shaky. Very, very sweet in here, so you can see this stamp. Little by little, the character of the polar bear is introduced. He says that he has a very fat paw, and so he helps Father Christmas with his packing. Little by little, the messages become more complete, more complex, more interesting, the adventures of Father Christmas and the polar bear take form. The Father Christmas gets quite exasperated with how clumsy the polar bear is, and the polar bear mentions how rude Father Christmas is for mentioning how clumsy he is. There's the polar bear who set off the fireworks, and the Rory Borealis, which I thought was really sweet. Little postscriptums by the polar bear explaining himself. I think it's really nice. These envelopes written in white are because the snowman has been knocked over, and so they use a bit of the snowman to write on the envelopes. Very, very sweet. And then little by little the stories become a little further focused on the narrative. Some elements of fantasy start appearing. Of course, you have the facsimile of the letter itself and a transcription next to it with, in bold, the words of the polar bear, which are added in the margin. There we are. Until the very, very end, where we have some letters from the war, and the very final letter. 1943 is the last letter. The 1943, where Father Christmas says, "I suppose you'll be hanging up your stocking. Just one more to Priscilla. I hope so, for I have still a few things, little things for you. After this I shall have to say goodbye, more or less. I mean, I shall not forget you. We'll always keep the old numbers of our old friends and their letters. Later on we hope to come back when they're grown up and have houses of their own and children." It's very, very sweet. It's certainly one of the loveliest books that I've come across. It's emotionally charged and a really, really beautiful testament to J.R.R. Tolkien's love for his children. That's all I really have for you today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did like the video, please leave a thumbs up. It really helps. And subscribe if you haven't already, and if you'd like to see more of these videos. Thanks very much for watching. Take care.